All right, so we gotta talk about this phenomenon called the text message breakup. If you're part of this channel because you like watching our Airstream renovation or like the natural living stuff as we move into this Airstream and build a family homestead, I swear that these two are connected, the text message breakup and our off-gridish move. You just gotta give me a second to get to that point. On this channel, I'm gonna start doing a little bit more social commentary as it relates to our move because I'm a little concerned that our society is in somewhat of a crisis mode, and maybe that's just because I'm a TV news reporter and everything feels like it's in crisis at pretty much all times. But I'm gonna say that I think our very basic relationships and our communication with one another is at a breaking point. And so when I have the opportunity and something actually happens real time in my real life that is exposing the problems that are literally driving us to make this move, again, restoring this Airstream, moving into a tin can and off-grid-ish, I want to talk to you about it because this one definitely applies. So first, let me back up for a second and tell you what happened. My friend, who we'll call Jill, and Jill is trying to find a guy, and like many women out there, she's using a dating app, and actually several dating apps. So she meets this guy on this dating app and they go on a couple of dates and everything seems to be going fine until she's starting to notice that, I don't know, maybe things aren't going exactly the way she had planned. Well, one day she just gets this text message after, I will say, they did have a face-to-face conversation where they talked about maybe they have different timelines and perspectives on things, that they like each other enough and they might be going at the same or sort of close enough of a pace that they want to keep it going. Then out of the blue, she just gets this text message. There's no question about liking you or wanting to spend time with you. It's all great, just not sure if it's good enough at this point. It's not fair to you to continue while I'm in the gray area. What matters to me is the fact that once you've been on more than one or two dates with somebody, why are you writing this stuff? I don't understand. Can you please talk to somebody face to face? Even reading it, it burns my eyes. I don't understand, why do people send these kinds of text messages? Call the person, hey, let's go grab a coffee and let's walk in the park or something. Anything. Even playing video games in person. I would go for that, just not by text. Okay, so then she writes, all right, well, I've been thinking about this a lot this week as well. I guess I'm not sure what to take away from your message at this point. Should we maybe just chat tomorrow and see where we are? And he says, it's really up to us. It will probably be a lot like our other chat. It's tricky to figure out how all this plays out, and I'm not sure the risk is fair to you. All right, I'm just gonna full stop right now. I'm not sure the risk. He said this a couple times. Basically, dude, if you wanna just say, I don't really like you, I'm not totally sure about you, then just freaking come out and say it, okay? Please. It really bothers me whether you're a man or a woman and you just allude to something because you just kind of want to push until the other person makes the decision for you. If you're a grown adult, make your decision, speak your words, as people say to their 3-year-old toddlers, and then stick with it and move on. And he goes, I'm not sure what the next steps are. I think it's been at the forefront of both of our minds lately. I'm open to talk, but seeing you upset is borderline unbearable and makes having a clear head even more difficult. Open to suggestions. Okay, well, this is where I would have been my suggestion is that you probably grow a spine and tell me why you're texting me all this right now before you just start having verbal diarrhea by text message with me about your problems. You need to figure out what you want to say and say it. I'm feeling like crap. I don't know what to do. I'm basically want to break up with you. I'm pushing you to try to do it for me because I'm a total weedy coward, and I'm open to suggestions. No, dude, if you want to be a text message breaker-upper, then listen, you gotta just do it. You know what? I'm kind of rethinking this. I don't totally know what I want to do and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just gonna push you to make the decision for me. I'm really sorry, but I hate to tell you, you're kind of a coward. I'm just saying it. I'm just gonna call it for what it is. I'm a journalist, I tell the truth, and that's just the truth. Especially, you're a coward 2.0 if not only have you text message broken up with somebody, but you didn't even actually do the breaking up, you just pushed them to try to do it for you. That is a double layer cake of cowardice. You just gotta have time out. I'm putting you in timeout right now. Get in the corner, timeout, think about what you've done. Don't do it again. Say what you mean what you say. And as my parents used to say, denial is not a river in Egypt. Grow a spine and look at yourself in the mirror. And like Michael Jackson said, if you want to change the world, you got to change that guy. And that's where this is going. She says, I'm still a little bit confused because of what you're saying. We should chat in person. But if this is a text message breakup, just have to let me know. And he says, not a text breakup. I'm sorry, it sounds like that. Then he finishes by saying, I would probably cave, basically, if I see you. That's what this says. Sort of in this guy's defense, but not really in his defense, because I'm gonna call BS on all this anyway. He does say this isn't a text message breakup, but pretty much everything he says is trying to allude to the fact that he wants to break up. So, and I'm not letting her off here either, because frankly, I think she should have shut down the conversation and been like, dude, okay, I am not using this anymore. If you want to see me, I will be at this coffee shop at this time on this date, and you'd like talk about it, then I'll be there. But unfortunately, I found out this is actually quite a trend. If you Google text message breakups, there are plenty of examples of people who have posted ridiculous breakups by text message. And I'm gonna add that this is my friend's second time having a text message breakup. This is obviously a trend. I'm not making this up. Here's one. Hi Adam, this is a bad message unfortunately. I'm sorry, but you're dumb. Can we just first talk about the fact that if you can't even get your correct, like Y-O-U-R versus Y-O-U''RE, you should definitely be breaking up in person, because there's nothing worse than getting broken up with by text and there being grammatical errors. Now, I will say that, okay, if you go on like one date with somebody because you met them online, which is like common nowadays, not my preferred method for my friends, but you know what, that's how a lot of people meet each other, fine. One date, I get it, just being like, you know what, wasn't feeling it tonight, have a great rest of your journey, not gonna be a part of it, I'm fine with that. But once you've like been on multiple dates with somebody, you've had intimate conversations with them about life and love and expectations and futures and that kind of stuff, like, come on, please do not send a text message. Now, what does the text message breakup have anything to do with moving into an Airstream and off-gridish or natural living or whatever else? I will say this. One of the main reasons that I am excited to have a family homestead, to live out in the country, to grow my own food, to just be a more in-depth participant in my own life is because the text message breakup is just a symptom of the greater disease that is affecting our society right now. And we have literally started to have more relationships with these things than we have with pretty much like the outside world. Our cell phones, actually, when we look at them, we get this shot of dopamine in our brains that tells us that we love looking at our cell phone. We're legit addicted to our cell phone. Not really a joke. It's like a real thing. We actually are starting to become addicted to these pieces of technology. Secondly, besides that sort of like physiological addiction, which is starting to become more and more clear as an actual reality, it's given us the opportunity to totally avoid human interaction. Now, if you watch a channel enough, you're gonna know that like human interaction and economies based on real relationships are something I'm really trying to get back to. Knowing where my clothes are coming from, knowing where my food comes from, these very basic things. And not just knowing that, but participating in that system. Why? Because I believe we used to get the same kind of dopamine shots in our brain by having actual relationships with people and taking responsibility for our actions and feeling like we had purpose in life. And instead we get like this little fake shot from these pieces of technology that tell us that like, oh no, you're doing okay. Just keep looking at your cell phone. It's already gonna be okay. It's fine. Everything you need is right here. And so then we feel like we have actual community and actual communication and real connection, just a little bit, just enough to trick us so that we don't seek it outside anywhere else. And I find this to be very dangerous. I really believe it has a lot to do with the mental health problems that we're seeing and really just our general inability to have civil discourse with people who are different than us. We only see these quick, whether it's like a text you can take out of context or you don't know the person's tone of voice, or you're on Facebook or you're on Twitter or whatever else it is. It's like we have minimized our relationships and our communication down to these tiny little characters which do not fully encompass what it means to be a human being. This just brings me back to the point of the off-gridish move and what I would hope that other people watching this might start to think about. The text message breakup, albeit funny and somewhat tragic for our society, and I really am glad I'm not dating anymore. Did I say really enough? Like, I'm super really glad I'm not dating, because honestly, like, cowardice, it's on both sides. And taking responsibility for actions or the lack thereof, it's on both sides. I'm not gonna just blame men or women for this. I think we both feed into each other and create this mess where we're not actually talking about the issues at hand, and we're avoiding the hard stuff, and we use these things to make us feel better about not having those tough conversations. There is something that happens to a person when they look into another individual's eyes and actually speak their heart. And so you can't do that if you're constantly looking at your cell phone. You gotta pick up your eyes and look at somebody, and this grows the human spirit. And that is ultimately what I hope happens with our move and what I'm able to contribute to society, because I really believe that whether your passion is the environment or any other slew of issues that we're facing right now, at the end of the day, we're not really dealing with those issues first and foremost. What we're dealing with is a generation or generations of people who don't wake up every day feeling like their lives matter. The fact that you can pick up a cell phone and text somebody very intimate things to avoid having a real conversation tells me that deep down, I'm not really sure you believe that your words or what you're here to do or how you affect people or any number of your actions or communication, that they matter. Because if you really believe that they mattered, you probably wouldn't act this way. And so my greater concern than the way people are acting is why they're acting that way. And that people don't wake up every day thinking, I have a purpose, that there is something for me to contribute to, that I can participate in something greater than myself, and that this world needs me. And there are just a lot of zombies walking through life who just think that it's just one thing, the next thing, and just click off boxes and check things and text message and face this and tweet that and whatever else. And we've totally lost our social fabric that gave us that sense of what it means to be a real human. The grit, the struggle, the emotion, the intimacy, the vulnerability, everything that was just like, you can't get from this stuff. If you've had a text message breakup, shoot me a comment and let me know what it was like and what the person said and what you think about this video. Is it fair? Am I being too hard on people? Should you be able to break up by text message? Or do you think that there's something to this? Again, I am Allison Morrow, and I hope you subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time.